Hello, I'm Tristan. I recently decided to remove all my laminate, which was a bit bittersweet since I laid it all myself 5 years ago, but it was time to change it. So I set to work on this, which firstly involved removing the laminate moulding trim from around the skirting boards, or baseboards as you Americans call it. Unfortunately, this laminate moulding doesn't always come off easily. It's nearly always glued into place, either with self-adhesive strips or proper wood glue. Thankfully, I found a magic way of removing the moulding. Scouring pads. Don't worry, I didn't hit my head with a hammer while removing my laminate. All will be revealed in this video. When you're wanting to remove laminate moulding trim, there's two main things to actually consider. Firstly, is it stuck down with self-adhesive strips or real wood glue? And is it stuck to painted baseboards or directly onto wood, or even onto pre-primed plinths? Removing self-adhesive moulding from painted baseboards will be much easier than actually removing moulding stuck to wooden baseboards with proper wood glue, for example, because the bond won't be as strong in the first case. But either way, you should only need a few basic tools: a utility knife, a putty knife, and a mallet or a hammer. Oh yeah, and don't forget my magic tool too. For painted baseboards, you should be able to just put a putty knife behind the laminate moulding and then hit downwards with a mallet. The key is to get behind the moulding, and then once you've done this, you can sort of angle the putty knife a little bit and then keep hitting it sideways. This will slowly but surely break the bond of the self-adhesive or wood glue and allow the moulding to come off. If you notice this really difficult to do this though, or your baseboards are getting overly damaged, you should run a utility knife alongside the edge first. It's unfortunately unlikely that you'll be able to remove the moulding without causing some damage to the baseboard or plinths, but hopefully it's nothing that a bit of spackling paste and paint can't fix. If you have stuck laminate moulding onto plinths, the process is similar, but it might be a harder process because plinths are often pre-primed, and a lot of this pre-primed layer can simply come off when removing the moulding. As a result, I took a lot more time removing the moulding here. I firstly used a utility knife to cut downwards, breaking some of the bond between obviously the moulding and the plinths. I then used a putty knife to further break this bond and ultimately help remove the moulding. Once the bulk of this moulding was off, I was left with an annoying residue. It was a mix of wood fibre and glue. I originally tried removing this by force, by using a putty knife, but my magical friend here was actually the biggest help. I worked some water into the residue and left it for 5 minutes. I was then able to scrape off most of the residue fairly easily. You might need to redo this step a few times, especially if there's lots of residue left to begin with, but overall it worked really well. I would imagine that this would work really well if your moulding is stuck onto wooden, not painted baseboards too. And that just about wraps up today's video. Basically, the process for removing laminate moulding can be a bit frustrating, but some patience and a few simple tools is all that you'll really need. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please click the thumbs up button. Please also consider subscribing to my channel and clicking the little bell icon, which will notify you when I release new videos. Thank you.